I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, first on the agenda, we got Mike Garza, Buildings and Grounds, with the lease agreement with Collection Professionals Incorporated for the Old Drug Court property.
So this is the property at 1044 Beck Avenue. Collection Professionals is really anxious to get into the space. Like I mentioned earlier, we've got the guys working on patching and painting, doing some spot painting on the walls over there, doing minor repairs. The custodial manager is on our schedule to do a full deep clean, carpet shampoo and scrubbing of the building. We'll probably fog it also before anybody takes occupancy, just to make sure everything's good on our end. Collection Professionals, visiting with Karen with Collection Professionals, she was curious to know if there's any chance they could move in a little early, since they have to be out of their space, I believe, by February 1. I told them we could do what we could, and the best I could offer was maybe the last week of January. You know, we could probably give them 4 days or so in that last week of January by the time we're done and out. It's the best I can do with the staff that we've got now. So they did agree to I believe you got the proposal, I believe they agreed to the 1258 for the square footage as listed in the warm property insurance. Really, it's I had a discussion with her about water. You know, we would be running the water during the summer to keep the grass green. She trusts the county's intentions on, you know, using just what water we need to maintain the property and do that kind of landscaping. So I really don't see any other issue. They were in agreement with taking on the other utilities for that property, since it is on its own meter. I think, you know, they asked for put some signage up near the fence on the property so people would know where to come, and I told them that would be a non-issue. So really, that's kind of the only request that they've given, is to just put some signage so people know what property they're going to.
Does that signage have to be approved in the city?
Probably, yeah. And so I can tell her that she can run that by the city of Cody, but didn't sound like it was like real big signage, but just a sign that said that this building was now the Collection Professionals office or whatever. So,
Mr. Chairman,
Joe.
I'll move we approve the lease.
Second.
Been moved by Joe, seconded by Dossie. Any further discussion on it? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you, Mike. You can get it to them, and I think we're fine if they need a few days early just to get stuff loaded, landed in there.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and we'll do what we can to give them as much time as we can, but it's going to be a little tight. So.
Yep.
All righty.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
All right, next on the agenda is we approve a designated Park County newspaper, designation of an official paper. When there is more than one paper published in any county, the Board of County Commissioners shall designate which one is the official paper of the county. Do you have any comments on this, Clerk Renner, or you just provided us some costs?
I did provide everyone costs on what it approximately costs us a year to run both papers. If you so choose to select one paper, I would maybe make a recommendation that you write a resolution, and that on the even years, or odd years, however you want to put it in the resolution, to not leave either paper out. 1 year, even year would be Cody Enterprise, odd year would be Powell Tribune. I know they're not going to like this, but we are looking for cuts. We are looking for costs, and what you see when we advertise, that's almost one full position to run both papers.
Mr. Chairman, I think that we are obligated to follow our procurement policy as a service and receive, because it's most likely going to fall between the 5 and the 50,000 to let it out for bid for our quote, at least, or invitation for quote for the two services, the per square inch, and let them, that way the best value comes to the county no matter what, and we're not bad guys picking one over the other, and we're not alternating that they can increase their price to make double their income for the second year. I think it's the fairest thing to the county. Go with our procurement. We put a lot of time into it, and it's pretty much written in there that that's how it works.
Dossie?
My question would be, there are times that we, like with planning and zoning, which I asked you if those fees were in there also, and they are, which we do collect back from the clients. But my question is this, a lot of those should be in the other paper because of where they are. If we were to designate Cody and the land use change or the SUP and things are occurring in Powell, they need to be advertised in Powell.
I believe that those advertisements are per instance, and we can pick what papers we want to advertise those in. I believe.
But they are in these fees.
Pardon?
They are in these.
Yeah, they're in those fees, but I believe those advertisements are on a case by case, for lack of a better term, a case by case. The official paper, under my understanding, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is the paper that we've got someone from the press right here, but is the paper that we have to officially use to publish our minutes and any legal notices, public notices for those. But I think with like planning and zoning, where it's the costs are picked back up and charged back to the applicant, we can advertise in both papers, but I could be incorrect. Commissioner Mangold, you had your hand
I
up.
was wondering if you're talking about putting it out for bid, do you put it out for bid on an annual basis, or do you
Yes.
put it out for bid per word? Because then you're looking at newspapers do charge, per word in some of them.
Mr. Chairman, I'm not exactly sure how the newspapers per word or per square inch of advertised space, but however the norm is, and I'm sure that we can find that out, but pick one or the other, however they charge, and yes, it would be renewed from year to year.
Colleen, you had something?
Well, so like I know in planning and zoning right now, if it's in the Powell area, it goes to the Powell paper. It doesn't get put in the Cody paper, that type of thing. Everything that we, the minutes, the salaries, that's all set by statute, that we are required to put them in the newspaper. So I don't know how the procurement would fall into that because no matter what, choose one or choose two, the procurement isn't gonna, we have to do it.
Well,
Statute.
I understand where Commissioner Teal's coming from, is when you're correct, we have to publish, certain things per statute, but how much they're going to charge us to publish those is what you're after, is saying, if it's per square inch, if it's per word, find out. What you're asking is that both papers come to us and say, here's what we're going to charge you. The question I've got is how time sensitive is, when do we have to decide on the official paper?
My bad, it was supposed to be decided the first meeting of January. It's a yearly thing, first meeting. So, I get it. I understand that they should have an opportunity, but a lot of their pricing, if I'm understanding it right, is set by what's the newspaper?
Wyoming Press Association.
Yes, thank you very much. The Press Association.
Leo, can you shed some light on a little bit of what we're talking about?
I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on this topic by any means. Probably not the best guy to ask about it, but I'll share what I know. We do, I believe we do charge by the square inch, not words, I believe.
Well, I think the minutes is by words, though.
Okay, like I said, I'm not knowledgeable about that topic. My question for you guys is, if you did end up choosing one paper or the other, as far as those general commissioner meeting minutes, would those not go in the losing newspaper?
Correct.
I guess that my comment would be, for the record, in the interest of public transparency and having the public be involved in commissioner meetings, I would not recommend that because of that reason.
Mr. Chairman.
But legally, we only have to choose one. It says right in statute.
I'm not
okay?
arguing, I'm not arguing legal.
And then the other thing in that I have to publish once a year in both papers, that all minutes are on our website and available. They're archived. If you go to our website, we're archived back to who knows when, 2010 or something like that on the website. And just and I'm not going to say a paper here, but so the minutes for 12/15 cost us $628.88.
Joe?
Yeah, this is not the first time we've had this conversation. We all know that. And, you know, we are coming at a tough budgetary time, but we're always talking about transparency, communicating with the public. And I hate to say it, but I think we need to continue to advertise in both papers.
Well, my comments are, is we're serving the constituency of Park County. And I think, you know, where people get the discussion on whether we should be advertising in the paper to start with, that's been, you know,
Oh, yeah, I know.
bounced around, you know, you can put it out there electronically. But currently, we are under statute to do so. And there's a lot of folks that get their information from the paper. So, I mean, I would probably go with the recommendation of both papers, but that'll have to be a motion. I've got Leo real quick.
Yeah, and just one more thing. The general average populace in Park County is on the older side, as we all know.
Yeah.
And a lot of these people are not using computers much or at all. And they do rely on the newspaper for their news. Wyoming generally is a very good newspaper state compared to other states in general, because of the support of the public that we have. So.
Commissioner Tilden.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve both the Cody Enterprise and Powell Tribune as the official papers of Park County.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Further discussion. Commissioner Teal.
Mr. Chairman, I think there's no question that the world's moving to a lot more social media, and all of our minutes and stuff. There's questions already out there as to whether we can just post these on a website, and let the people that are interested will find them. For the sake of the taxpayers who's paying the bill for this, I think we're obligated to get the best bang for the buck but meet state statutes. And I feel that one paper would fulfill that. And the people that are interested in the happenings in the county, there are other avenues to find us out other than the paper. I would like to, I'm not for both papers. We've discussed this. It's a good savings. We know revenue's going down, and I think this is a good chance to cut some of those costs and still fall where we need to be.
And it's noted. Trust me, it's noted, and I've thought about it a lot too. But you know, we can get way out in the weeds on this, but we've got plenty of time. Is if we decide upon one newspaper, that's a pretty big financial hit to whatever newspaper doesn't get it. And what is the trickle down of that financial hit to the community? And that's just a question that weighs on my mind on when and how we spend, the tax dollars.
Mr. Chairman, I agree with you on that. However, I also feel the government we're not here to subsidize any businesses. And to take put it out for our procurement just like we're supposed to, and let the lowest.
Well, by statute, we're already supposed to have decided this, so we might be a little late on that. Colleen?
One more comment. I know, was it in 2019? So this might be coming up with legislator too. I'm not sure, but I believe it's in the wind with the legislators.
And that damn press association is a strong lobby.
Yeah. So, I mean,
what would work, if we wanted to save money, what would work is to take out one little ad every whenever we had to, saying here's the minutes. You go to the website and get the minutes, and that would suffice. But that was put in front of the legislators. I believe it was in 19 or 18 or 19 and lost.
Well, Mr. Chairman, then to do it proper here, I'd like to amend the motion.
Well, you can ask who made the motion to amend it if they're agreeing.
May I ask?
Make it nice to me now.
Okay. So we take the second place paper and we continue an ad stating that minutes or public notices can be found on the website. Just a simple ad, so we don't have to do the full thing in both papers. each one gets the full thing, the other gets at least a small ad stating.
You know, I tell you what, the only problem I would have with that is the fact that through this COVID thing in particular, and there are a lot of people in the county, either have limited access to internet or no access at all. That's one of the problems public health is having, getting these people to sign up for the vaccine, because they don't have access to the county webpage, through the internet. So I guess taking that into consideration, you know, and I agree with you as far as the money end of it is concerned. And we're always looking for ways to cut the budget. There's no question about that. But the amount of criticism that we'll take if we don't designate both papers, we've had the discussion pretty much every year. And I think, you know, we're always trying to be more transparent, communicate better with the general public. And I think from a legislative point of view, that's one of the reasons they haven't passed legislation about newspapers yet, because it comes up periodically about using more social media and the internet. It's because a lot of places in Wyoming don't have internet connectivity. That's why the big push.
And the Press Association is a strong lobby.
You know, I mean, that was a big push for the governor's broadband network initiative to try and get these places so they do have access to the internet.
Further discussion? Those in favor, oh, go ahead.
Just want to point out, yeah, it's some people don't have internet, and of course, that's part of the library board. We try to get people to come in and hang out at the library for those people who don't have internet. For those that are interested in actually reading the county minutes and don't have internet, that's where basically you could go. Or, you know, somehow, if you got the money, you can, of course, buy a newspaper. You know, you can do that or subscribe online. So you got to actually pay a little bit more for this information. So for somebody who's worked in radio his whole life, you know, when it's free, let's buy a radio, I guess, but you can get that information out. That's another medium that isn't even utilized by us.
So I can see a county designated radio station?
You don't need to designate it, just send them a press release and they'll read it.
There you go.
That's free. So, you know, and I think if we're to a point of saving money, and I know that the WAM has gone through this discussion as well, and we put out resolutions because there's some communities that don't like their local newspaper. For instance, Shoshone says that they don't even read the Riverton Ranger. I would like to see, you know, what Sublette County does. What do they do with the Miner, and what they do with the Green River newspaper?
Miner is Sweetwater, sorry.
What's that?
The Miner would be Sweetwater.
Okay. So you know, and I agree with Lloyd that I think we got to look at some ways to save money, and maybe the public would like us to save money in that direction. So, and put it out for bid.
Okay. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. Obviously, there's going to be a lot opposed.
Opposed?
Aye.
So we got three opposed, one aye. Okay. So now we have to designate a county paper. Dossie.
Or could we designate a county paper for a month or two to give us the time to go through the procurement thing to finish the year?
Well, we have to have a county paper, you're correct. And I guess I'd have to look at the statute and see how it's written as far as any further information, as far as how long that designation lasts, if it's in the statute of how long it lasts, et cetera.
I think it's yearly.
Yeah, so if we designate them as a county paper, we would, I'm just thinking while I'm talking, which will get me in trouble, but if we designate a county paper, we've met statutory requirements because we have a county paper. We can, as a board, we can revisit any decision that we've made and decide to act on it differently, change it, but as long as we have a county paper, we're covering the statutory requirements. Lloyd?
Is there a problem with just leaving it at both, at least until, and I think we can have this answered by next meeting, the 19th. just a simple go to both papers, just like we do for any other product, and ask a square inch price.
So I like where you're going, and what we have to take into consideration if we make a decision today is I'm pretty sure we can revisit it. We have revisited decisions as a board. If we make the decision right now to continue with both papers as our county papers, we will have to bring that decision forward and revisit the decision, because we have designated.
So right now, we're not in compliance, is that what you're saying?
Right now.
And we need to fix it today?
Designated.
Okay,
Yeah, we're actually in violation of state statute
Okay.
today.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I think that also gives us the opportunity, if we were to designate today to stay with both papers until procurement policy can be followed, that also gives the public time, if they know we're going to do this, to respond to us as to their feelings as to whether we keep both papers or not, or how important it is to them. So if we take that time frame, even if it's a month, I mean, I don't think we need to do this in a week. I don't think that's fair to the papers either. But if we said right now, we're going to stay with both papers for 30 days, whatever, until we make a decision on the procurement, how the procurement policy works.
So, Commissioner Tilden.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I agree with you. I think we can revisit the decision of the board at any time. So that being said, in effort to move this along,
Thank you.
I'll make a motion that we designate today both papers as the official papers of Park County until such time the county commission wishes to revisit the issue.
Okay.
I'll second that.
And Scott, and just for record, I mean, I know everyone knows what we're talking about. We're talking about the Powell Tribune and Cody Enterprise.
Yep.
All right, further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. There we go.
It was a win-win, Lloyd.
Well, it was, may I?
Go ahead.
So administratively, can we reach out to these? I think this is our department, so administratively, reach out to these
Yes.
departments and ask for basically a price.
Okay.
Yep.
You,
Susan can check with both papers and let them know our thoughts.
And when we place, when the commissioners place that, it is on the size of the ad.
Just let them know what we're thinking and have them give us their costs.
Does that include the buyer guide too?
We don't publish in Buyer Guide. Go ahead, Susan.
Mr. Chairman, I just had a suggestion, I don't know statute, but could you do one for 6 months and then designate one for?
Well, then we get back into just what we were talking about, one year, one the other year, and
Or 6 months for one, 6 months for that, and you're just, make it easier.
we'll get, ask them what they think.
Okay,
And get the information, have them get information to us.
okay.
Anything else? We beat that dead horse. Okay,
It's a tough one.
Sorry, I just tried to give you all the facts.
no, and it's, you know, as Commissioner Tilden said, we've had this discussion just about every year. We have
Discussion pretty much every year.
Municipalities do the same thing.
Yeah.
Same discussion.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Oh, Joy was canceled, right? Sorry,
Yes, I'm sorry, she canceled that earlier.
sorry.
Okay, moved and seconded to go into executive session. All those in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Okay.
You
Colleen?
said what? I didn't hear. I didn't,
Dottie and I made the motion simultaneously.
okay, good enough. Okay.